Why are millions of Japanese people living alone, totally disconnected from the society? What's causing the alarming rise of Hikikomori, a concept that refers to social outcasts or people who have withdrawn themselves from the society, from the world at large, and are confined to their homes for ages? How can a country that enjoys the reputation of being first world, progressive, extremely smart, be struggling with an epidemic like loneliness? And what does the bizarre business landscape of Japan reveal about its struggle with something as basic as human connection? In this episode of Sync Corner, we'll explore the phenomenon of unusual businesses thriving in Japan's socially isolated landscape, talk about the successful enterprises that have capitalized on this trend, and discuss the Japanese government's initiatives to address the country's deepening social crisis. We'll also assess the World Health Organization's concerns regarding the implications of social isolation on public health and consider the broader societal implications of this epidemic. Japan is basically going through a full-fledged population decline. It is going through a very serious demographic crisis. When I say that, I mean that the estimated population of Japan last year, that is 2023, was 124 million people. So a country of 124 million people as of 2023. But this population is expected to almost halve to 63 million in 2100. So 80 years from now, the estimates are that Japan is going to become a country of not more than 63 million people. If the current trends continue, if this happens, Japan is going to become a minor power in the world, which means that its importance, its impact, its influence on the world won't be as significant as it is today. So very, very tricky times for a country that has enjoyed the status of a superpower for the longest time. 40% of the 124 million people are experiencing some kind of isolation. 1 to 2 million hikikomori and 30,000 annual deaths through kodokushi. What is kodokushi? Kodokushi is basically a Japanese term that refers to the lonely death. Now, this is severe. This is serious. Japan ranks 143rd out of 167 on social rankings. So a complete opposite to how the world perceives the country. Its over-reliance on technology, on extreme working hours, on a completely independent lifestyle has now translated into a social isolation storm that the Japanese did not see coming. When I was researching and trying to educate myself on hikikomori, I found out that there isn't one or two factors contributing to this, but a multitude of factors. Japan as a society puts a lot of pressure on its people. So right from the primary years, there's extreme pressure to do well in academics, learn school, college, university, get a job before you pass out, excel in the job. And people who have not been able to conform to society's expectations largely have become hikikomoris. Multiple reasons are cited behind reclusiveness, from school and workplace bullying to illness or the trigger of a traumatic event. They say that in Japan, when you enter your third year of university, you're supposed to start the job hunt process. And so by the time you reach your fourth year, I think, which happens in March or April, you have to have a job by that time. If not, you won't be accepted well by the society. That's how your worth as an individual, as a professional, is determined in a society like Japan. And it happens everywhere else in the world as well. But I think in Japan, it is way too serious, way too severe. What's really fascinating and interesting about this is how the young Japanese are coping with social isolation. There is a concept that's been dubbed ohitori-sama on social media. So if you go to Instagram or TikTok and you hashtag ohitori-sama, you will see hundreds of thousands of pictures where Japanese are dining alone, they're doing karaoke alone, they're shopping alone. This shift is transforming daily life in Japan. So, on one hand, you see the young Japanese endorsing it or embracing it. And on the other, you see that some very unique industries have born out of this need of social connection. Some of the most bizarre industries in the world, the ones capitalizing on the very pain point. Here, you rent humans. Japan's rent-a-human industry has evolved into a lucrative market, with companies offering not only friends and companionship services, but also rental family members. These services cater to various demographics, including elderly individuals, people with disabilities, and those struggling with mental health issues. One such notable company is Family Romance, which offers a range of rental family services, including fake partners and children. The founder of Family Romance, Ishii Yushi, who also happens to play the lead in the movie Family Romance LLC, based on his company, helps others who have something missing in their lives.
People in Japan are now paying for imposters.
Ruichi Ichinokawa runs something called a rental family company, and business has never been better. For a fee, he and his staff will impersonate your parents, your boss, even your spouse.
Have you ever been discovered?
Never.
Never.
Family Romance, which for 16 years has specialized in loaning out actors to be therapeutic surrogate figures. Imitation friends or family members for those who can't bear the absence of these people in their lives. These people are required to go through the motions at parties, weddings, funerals, and even private situations. There are an estimated 18.4 million adults in Japan, 6.24 million over 65, living alone in the country. One of the biggest reasons for a business model as bizarre as Family Romances being that successful in Japan is because I think, unlike the American culture where people are very comfortable expressing their true feelings, the Japanese would rather hide their emotions and put up a front, which of course is very superficial, but that's how the society operates, which of course then translates into a need state where if you cannot express or emote with somebody you know, just because the society doesn't expect you to, you start renting humans. One client of the company asked to hire a load of friends to take with him to various locations so he could take pictures with them and post them on Instagram to make it look like they had lots of friends. The company has also had men clients who've been unfaithful to their wives and feel guilty but don't want to confess, and so get someone to scold them. Then there have been cases where women don't want to present their fiancés to their parents because they don't think they'll approve, so they present fake ones. A friend of the founder of Family Romance, a divorced mother, was having trouble because her daughter was getting bullied for not having a father present. The mother hired Mr. Ishii, the founder himself, as a fake father for 20,000 yen to spend time with the daughter only. Similarly, there has been another company, Ikimeso Tokyubin, a unique rental agency that offers a service called Handsome Men Weeping Delivery. Clients can choose from a variety of handsome men who fit different roles such as little brother, tough guy, intellectual. One option is even a real dentist. The agency's founder, Hiroki Tarai, started this service as an extension of his previous business, which helped people cope with divorce. Now he offers a way for people to experience emotional release through watching handsome men cry.
このお話をいただいて、僕も涙の効能というのをちょっといろいろ勉強しました。でその中で涙を流すことによってストレス解消効果があったり、あと癒しですねあるっていうのを知って、
涙を一粒流しただけでストレス解消効果が1週間続くと言われていますので、今回の目的としましては社員さん同士のコミュニケーション、新たなコミュニケーション作りに生かしてほしいというのが目的ですので、お互いやはり社員さん同士で泣き顔を見せ合うという機会がありませんので、
企業様に出向いてこの企画をやるので、できるだけ感情が表に出るような環境づくりと、あとはその感情が出た時にその感情とできるだけね短い間なんだけど、寄り添っていけるような、そういう存在でありたいなと思いますね。
There was an international study of adult crying that was conducted some time ago. And the Japanese were the least likely to cry out of the 37 nationalities that were the part of that survey, which goes on to show how emotionally deprived these people can be and how much the society is taking in, basically. Terai says that he first discovered the need for a unique way of counseling Japanese couples to get over their recent divorces through inducing tears. In Japanese society, where most people, especially women who have managed to navigate and smash through the glass ceiling into high-pressure jobs, don't have a supporting partner to come home to and unload the stresses of the day, there is a need left unfulfilled. Mr. Terai fulfills this need for many. He coined a phrase ruikatsu, which means communal crying, in order to boost team spirit. Today, there are more than 40 organizations in Japan offering these services, most of them unaffiliated with Terai. In addition to 90-minute corporate sessions, Terai makes a yearly trip to Iwaki, a city in Fukushima, to run a ruikatsu session with earthquake survivors. Now, it all comes down to the fact that what is the Japanese government doing about it, and then what are the world leaders doing about it? Because if it's happening in Japan right now, which at one point of time did go through the youth bulge that, for example, India is going right now, or even Pakistan for that matter, a few years down the line, your country is also going to go through the same cycle where the majority of the population is going to be an old population, an aged population. And if this is happening in Japan right now, this is going to trickle down to other parts of the world as well. World leaders and governments, especially in countries with aging populations like Japan and UK, have formed ministries to tackle the problem. The Minister for Loneliness in the UK and the Minister for Loneliness and Isolation in Japan held their first online meeting on 17th June 2021 during Loneliness Awareness Week in the UK. The UK launched its first national strategy for tackling loneliness in 2018 and publishes an annual report every year. As of April 1st, 2024, Japan is in motion to enact the Act on Promotion of Policy for Loneliness and Isolation aimed at tackling social isolation and loneliness in the country. The legislation follows a 2022 government survey that revealed that 40% of respondents in the country aged 16 years and older felt lonely. In November 2023, World Health Organization announced the launch of its Commission on Social Connection, which aims to analyze the central role social connection plays in improving health for people of all ages and outline solutions to build social connections at scale. Older adults are particularly vulnerable to poor social connections, with World Health Organization estimating that 25% of older adults experience loneliness, compared with between 5% and 15% of adolescents. Reasons for the vulnerability are multifaceted, but include factors such as reduced social contacts, for example, due to bereavement or retirement, barriers to participation in social activities, for example, due to reduced mobility, etc. The commission formed by the World Health Organization is expected to run till 2026, after which the WHO will declare its global agenda on the issue of social isolation. And while the output or the result of this commission is highly anticipated, we need to understand that this is not a Japan only problem. This is a world problem. Social isolation or loneliness is happening across the globe. It is happening across the human species. It is happening to us. It is happening to people around us. And because of our overdependence on technology, on social media, on all these sorts of things, we're losing the most basic need for human survival, the connection. Let's take it a little more seriously. With this, we'll wrap up today's episode. Please feel free to share your feedback, your comments, your opinions. Your support means the world.